what is going to happen in the future after all confidence in the currency and the system is lost, then yes, absolutely. In order to get the public to use the currency again, they always put a component of gold in there. But could they do it at this past summit? No, because they have to get rid of all the debt that they've accumulated. Once you put a component of gold in a currency, then it limits your ability to stimulate, which simply means to create a lot more debt. And ultimately, all that debt has to be repaid. 1913, you could have used, you could have used a silver dollar, you could have used a US dollar, or you could have used a $1 gold coin. Can you see the difference in the size? And you could have bought 11 loaves of bread with any three of them. Today, you're lucky to get a quarter of a loaf of bread with that dollar bill. You could still buy, I could be off a little bit, but you could still buy 11 loaves with this silver dollar. And the last time I checked, I could buy 135 loaves of bread with this 1/20 of an ounce of $1 gold coin. So, I mean, it's easy to see that was the beginning of the life cycle, and the dollar buying a quarter of a loaf. We're going to get to a point where you can't buy a loaf of bread with a dollar bill. Look at Venezuela. Look at so many countries that they need wheelbarrows. And it's hard for people to really comprehend that, because if they can keep the inflation at 2%, they get what they want, but you don't complain, you don't ask for more money. These are all the same playbook. And if you read some of the IMF reports, especially my favorite one, still goes back to 2015, breaking below the lower zero bound. In other words, how do you take interest rates below zero? And what they say in there is, we know how to do this. You keep things appearing as similar as possible to the current system. And then people don't notice. And we've had IMF Carstens came out and said, well, if you use the CBDC and you go to the grocery store, it's all going to seem the same, because they've gotten us used to using credit cards and debit cards, right? They've gotten us since 2009. They've gotten us used to seeing and hearing and all of this about the digital currencies, the cryptocurrencies. So this seems normal, and so people buy into it, especially when they let them rise as they're suppressing the real value, not the real value. They can't suppress that, but the market value of gold and silver through those spot contracts, which it's easy to create as much gold and silver as you want. That does not nor ever will exist. Everything has a life cycle. I guarantee you, I'm at a different point in my life cycle at 69 now. But my granddaughter is 8. She is clearly at a different point in her life cycle than I am, right? And that's the thing. If we can all learn to understand the patterns of an aging currency, then it's easy to know where we are in that cycle.
What is going to happen in the future after all confidence in the currency and the system is lost? To regain public trust in the currency, governments often incorporate a component of gold. However, this wasn't feasible at the recent summit because they need to eliminate the massive debt accumulated. Once a currency is partially backed by gold, it limits the ability to create more debt, which has to be repaid eventually. Back in 1913, you could use a silver dollar, a US dollar, or a $1 gold coin to buy 11 loaves of bread. Today, with that same dollar bill, you're lucky to get a quarter of a loaf, while the silver dollar could still buy 11 loaves, and the gold coin could buy about 135 loaves. This stark difference illustrates the depreciation of fiat currency and the enduring value of gold and silver. As the dollar's purchasing power continues to erode, we could reach a point where it buys almost nothing, similar to Venezuela and other countries experiencing hyperinflation. Governments aim to keep inflation around 2% to avoid public outcry, but if inflation runs higher, it becomes evident. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, and other financial institutions have strategies to manage this transition smoothly, making the new system appear similar to the current one, so people don't notice the change. This transition involves central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, which the public might accept due to familiarity with digital transactions and cryptocurrencies. However, governments suppress the market value of gold and silver through paper contracts, creating as much virtual metal as needed, which doesn't reflect the actual supply. Understanding the life cycle of a currency is crucial. Just like people age, so do currencies. Recognizing these patterns helps us understand where we are in the cycle and prepare accordingly. Gold and silver have been safe havens for centuries, retaining value through various economic upheavals. They don't need government endorsement to be valuable. Their worth is universally recognized. We need essentials like food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter to maintain a reasonable standard of living. Silver symbolizes liberty and gold represents love, both of which are crucial for personal freedom and financial security. Proper diversification is essential. While some assets may become worthless, gold and silver will likely appreciate in value, providing a hedge against financial collapse. Physical metals in your possession become invisible to the system, offering real protection. We should strive for a peaceful revolution, coming together in communities to support independence and self-sufficiency. This unity helps retain our choices and resist control through fiat currency systems. Gold and silver, used in every sector of the global economy, offer stability and protection. Cryptocurrencies, while useful for trading, lack the tangible, intrinsic value of gold and silver. In a collapsing system, tangible assets like gold and silver provide security. We're witnessing a global move away from the US dollar, with countries like Saudi Arabia joining the BRICS alliance, signaling a shift in global financial power. A gold-backed currency might emerge once the current debt is managed, but for now, building community and preparing for economic shifts is crucial. Form relationships with local farmers and other community members to create a resilient, self-sufficient network. Keeping all your wealth in the current system exposes you to risk, especially with the advent of surveillance-heavy CBDCs.
Additionally, so that's the overall picture. So I'm in safety, and this is safety. This is the only safe haven asset that has been proven over centuries and even longer. I mean, thousands and thousands of years. It does not need a government to say it has value. The world has known that it has value. And we do need food, water, energy security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter in order to sustain a reasonable standard of living and therefore retain your choices. Silver is actually means liberty and gold means love. Liberty and love, what else do we need? And if you are not properly diversified, your portfolio, 1 trillion times zero is zero. Some people can't get it out. Like in the pension schemes, some of the 401ks, you really can't get that money out. So you have to have the right amount of this to properly diversify. And if your stock or bond portfolio goes to zero, this is going up, right? This is proper diversification and your wealth shield, which is made of physical metals in your possession, because then they become invisible and they actually do protect you. I think and I hope we have a peaceful but absolute revolution. And the way that we do that is by coming together in community, supporting each other to be as independent and self-sufficient as possible so that we can retain our choices. Fiscally, well, where do you get that? You get that with silver. Yep, exactly. And gold. That's where you get that. And the reason is really simple, is that both gold and silver are used in every sector of the global economy. So there's always broad-based demand. When you're looking at cryptocurrencies, they're used for trading when they are intangible and in the system. Because when things collapse, who are you going to call? What we're experiencing is a global de-dollarization. And the nations that are part of the BRICS, particularly the new nation, Saudi Arabia, that's coming in, is really the reason why in the early 70s, 80s, that the US dollar retained its status as the world reserve currency. And so alliances, global alliances, are most definitely shifting as far as having a gold-backed currency. And so what I encourage everybody to do everywhere in the world is to create that community around you. Because if you don't, and you keep all your wealth in this system that is designed to transfer your wealth away from you, you will have no choice when they install this full surveillance CBDC. You will have no choice. So I'm about retaining choices. You know, it's like so critically important that we come together on a global basis and community. I can't even tell you.
The bottom line is that when the currency loses all purchasing power, confidence in the system evaporates. This scenario requires a drastic measure to regain public trust, often involving gold. Historically, currencies backed by gold tend to regain trust because gold limits the ability to print endless amounts of money, thus controlling inflation. However, this also means that the accumulated debt must be addressed first. Governments can't simply add gold to their currency until the debt problem is resolved. In the early 20th century, a dollar could buy a significant amount of goods, much like gold and silver can today. This comparison starkly illustrates the decline in purchasing power. The transition from a currency backed by tangible assets like gold and silver to one based on debt has led us to a point where fiat money buys less and less. Hyperinflation is a reality in many countries. If the US continues on this path, the dollar will follow suit. Governments try to keep inflation at a manageable level to avoid public backlash, but inflation erodes purchasing power silently. Reports from the IMF and other financial bodies reveal plans to transition to new financial systems, such as CBDCs, which appear similar to the current system to avoid alarming the public. Digital currencies are becoming normalized, but they lack the intrinsic value of gold and silver. The manipulation of gold and silver prices through paper contracts hides their true value. However, the physical metals retain their worth and provide security in uncertain times. Understanding the life cycle of currencies helps us prepare for the future. Gold and silver have always been safe havens during economic turmoil. They don't need government endorsement because their value is recognized globally. As currencies age and depreciate, gold and silver remain stable. Essential needs like food, water, energy, and community support are vital for maintaining a standard of living. Building a resilient community helps retain personal freedom and financial security. Silver and gold symbolize liberty and love, essential elements for a stable society. Diversifying investments is crucial. While fiat currencies and digital assets might falter, gold and silver provide a reliable store of value. Physical possession of these metals offers protection against financial collapse. In uncertain times, tangible assets are invaluable. The push towards CBDCs raises concerns about privacy and control. Governments might present these digital currencies as solutions to inflation, but underlying issues persist. Building strong communities and maintaining control over personal resources are essential for navigating this transition. Central banks are aware of these challenges and are quietly accumulating gold. This action suggests a lack of confidence in fiat currencies and a preparation for significant economic changes. The public should take note and consider the implications. In addition to financial preparations, practical steps are necessary. Ensuring access to food, water, and energy is critical. Building a community that can barter and support each other enhances resilience. This practical approach, combined with investments in gold and silver, provides a comprehensive strategy for dealing with economic challenges. History shows that gold and silver have always maintained their value during economic crises. The current signs of hyperinflation and currency devaluation indicate that similar challenges lie ahead. Preparing now by diversifying investments and building community networks will ensure stability and prosperity during the transition. For American and allied citizens, the transition from fiat currencies to tangible assets like gold and silver is not just a financial strategy, but a safeguard for the future. In times of economic uncertainty, these metals provide a hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. By investing in gold and silver, you protect your wealth from the erosion of purchasing power. Additionally, building a strong, supportive community ensures mutual aid and resilience. Remember, history shows that those who prepare and adapt are the ones who thrive in times of change. Take proactive steps now to secure your financial and personal well-being. Your actions today will determine your stability and prosperity in the future. Stay informed, stay prepared, and stay united. The power lies in your hands to create a secure future for yourself and your community. If you want to stay most up to date on the silver and gold markets, make sure to subscribe to my daily 5-minute silver and gold newsletter. It provides the latest expert insights, breaking news, market trends, and investment strategies, all in a concise format. Click the first link in the description to join thousands of others and enhance your investment knowledge right now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support helps me stay motivated to bring more valuable content to you. See you in the next video.